Hello and welcome to an all new Listener Mailbag. Today we're going to continue on with the story of Geek Life Entertainment. Now we stopped around 2010, which is the year where Geek Life actually came to fruition. But let's say around 2009, 2010. RCR wasn't streaming anymore. That was around the time I think people started going to video a lot. And it was a little expensive at the time for the equipment and stuff. RCR didn't make the transition then. Otherwise, you'd probably be seeing my ugly mug on RCR. Or RCR TV, RCTV shows. But anyway, RCR went the way of the dodo. It was around in name, but we weren't streaming. We were, however, still doing podcasts. Butch and I did Mystic Pathways for a while, Total BS, and then eventually we stopped doing those, put those on temporary hiatus, which these temporary hiatuses became, I guess you could say, permanent since Mystic Pathways hasn't been back. And I think, can't remember if I had Total BS back for a little while as an audio podcast or not, as part of Geek Life. I think I saw that I had brought it back, at least temporarily, but I can't remember. It's been a few years. But what we did do is it was like early 2010. I had lost my job where I was working because they had closed down. And that was around the time of the big unemployment thing, where they kept giving extensions and stuff. So I was looking for work and stuff, but Butch and I were still taking, and I was going over to his and Ben's house, and we ended up doing another podcast, which it was an audio podcast, but there are some on YouTube. You just see the logo and hear our voices. And we called it WDIS. It was, I think, in my opinion, it was an excellent show. It's probably the next evolution of Total BS. Total BS, we just shot the shit, had some fun. WDIS, we went into skits, audio skits. We did listener mailbags, which is basically what I took the title of this podcast from. We did some other ones. Like, there was one skit we did where we went on a paranormal investigation at Macworld, and you can like hear Steve Jobs above us giving a speech from Macworld that year. I think it must have been 2010. And so we did stuff like that. There's another one where well, it takes place in a bar. I don't want to delve too much into it, but you can find it on YouTube if you search for either WDIS or Why Do I Suck. because that was WDIS was initials. It's what we called it, but it stood for Why Do I Suck? Because, like I said, um, Ben and I, at the time, we were a little bit. I know. I think Ben was too. We were a little bit on the depressed zone. Uh, feeling down. I had just lost my job. I was having trouble finding a new one. Having a little bit of pity party, you know? So, like, that's how the name came about. And because we would want. Only then. The tagline was, why? Why? It was just an exaggerated why, like, a depressed, crying, why? And, like, people loved it. For some reason, people liked it. I can't remember how many views are on YouTube, but when we had it on, I think we had it on a podcast server. Can't remember where it was, but people were listening to it and people liked it. I mean, I don't know why either, but whatever. So that went, and then sadly, Butch passed. So it was Ben and I, and we had every intention of continuing WDIS. However, we did not. Fast forward to like fall of 2010, September, October, November-ish. And at the time, I was like huge into tech. I love tech, computers, and all that stuff. And you can tell, because Geek kind of evolved. At first, it was a blog of like electronics, movies. It was basically a catch-all. But you could tell what we were focusing on. Like the first few videos on this YouTube channel was computer-based, if I remember correctly. Like I think I got one of booting Windows, or running Windows from a USB drive, or something like that. I can't remember. I would have to go back. And we have another one of how to change your MAC address on a Linux machine. Oh, I think the first one was Unet booting. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a tutorial or something, but anyway. And the articles we had on the site reflected what we were into then. Like I said, it was a lot of tech, computers, movies. We did get into comics, not a lot. Games, because I think there may have been something, because at the time the Wii was out. I think it was when the Wii first came out, and we were talking about the homebrew Wii, modding the Wii to be able to play homebrew games or stuff like that. And I think the first project on the website actually was Ben had a computer tower, and he had built a computer, and the computer had the router, the computer, some other shit. Everything was inside the one tower, and if I remember correctly, the router was modded. It had either Tomato or DDWRT operating system on it, program, whatever you want to call it. And so September, October, November, we're into that stuff. I mean, I would go over to Ben's house, and for fun, we would, I think we finished up building a computer that he was working on when I got there. And then we were playing with VMware, I think. It was a virtual machine program. And we opened instance after instance after instance, virtual machine inside virtual machine inside virtual machine of, and went Windows, some Linux, all the way down. We ended up at the end using Puppy Dog Linux. I'm pretty sure we were in the 20s by that time. The like 20 instances of virtualware inside or virtual machine inside a virtual machine inside a virtual machine. I think we had like 20 going, just to see if we could make the computer go stupid. It had started slowing down, but we did that for fun. That was something fun for us, and that, I think, is where the core of Geek Life started. We were just, when I went over, we would do some tech, geek related stuff for fun. We never got any of it on camera. And back then, everybody was like using the leet speak, you know, the letters in the word. And when I looked in November, when I looked for Geek Life, I couldn't find the actual spelling of it. So I was like, oh yeah, G33KL1F3.com. And, you know, it was good. People were going there. People go to the site. We've had a few writers off and on. At first it was me and Ben. Then Ben wasn't involved so much, so it was me. Got a couple other people involved. Matt, who's occasionally done stuff on the channel. And Chris Godso. He's in some of the older videos from when we went to Coast City Comic Con. He did some tech stuff. That was all on the website. They were blog posts. The website I've had problems with. We'll get into that next video perhaps. But yeah, the start of it, 2010. Beginning of the year, WDIS with Butch and I. Ending that year of 2010, where we had just picked up the domain. Ben and I had started writing on it, and we were doing some articles. I think we were posting a couple articles a week. We were using WordPress, and we would have it so it would upload different articles throughout the week. And yeah, that's really where it started. Next episode, if I continue on with this topic, we will be talking about how we transition. Because we did. We went from like a mostly tech blog into what is now Geek Life Entertainment, which is me running my face 3 times a week, maybe a few extra videos a week on the YouTube. So, until next time, I'll see you later.